Hello everybody, it's Julian James and welcome back to the Julian James Show. I'm excited to be here for another exciting week. So today's episode is a little different. We're a day late, don't get used to it. I was going to talk about the Grammys today, but I tried to watch them and they were just really bad. Like they were genuinely really bad. Like I just couldn't get through it. Alicia Keys did that because she's fabulous. Ariana Grande did that because she's fabulous. Lil Nas X did that because she's fabulous. But everything else kind of just fell flat. Oh, Rosalia, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was everything. That's really all I have. It was just very boring to me. I didn't even pay too much attention to the awards, people getting the Grammys, I didn't really see it. Billie Eilish also did very well. That music just isn't for me. But what I did want to talk about is yesterday was obviously a very heavy day for a lot of people. There was a very sudden death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gianna, and I do believe 7 other people. And the reason I'm doing this video, I guess, is because it was so sudden and it was very tragic. But also, yesterday I saw the most gross display of negligent journalism I've ever witnessed in my life. You know, Kobe Bryant was a husband, a father, a legend, a coach, and he was a sexual assailant. But that's really not, what this video is about. This video really isn't even about Kobe Bryant. The video is actually about, again, the negligent journalism and grief. So obviously my first concern, so I got the news in a text. It came to me in a text about 10 minutes before it hit the news. Basically the reason it took so long for the news to get out is because they had to notify the next of kin. And apparently it was difficult to reach whomever at the time. But Kobe was on a helicopter ride from Orange County to Calabasas, which for those who don't know, is literally 15 minutes at the absolute most. So it is very sudden and it's very unusual. And like the trip itself is very usual. So people make that trip multiple times a day, especially on a day like Sunday, especially around that time. Like that's nothing. It's nothing. I'm sure they do that very often, which is again, probably why it is so tragic because I cannot imagine, you know, saying goodbye to my mom or my mom saying goodbye to me, be like, okay, I'll see you if you finna go up the street, talk to you later, and then like, that's it. That's devastating for anybody. And that's kind of the point. Like my heart goes out to Vanessa Bryant. She got with that man when she was 17 years old. She's never known any life outside of him. They just had a beautiful baby girl. They had 4 children together, and to lose your baby and your man, that's really all I can think about is the tragedy of it all. That is a tragic loss. Because again, it's not just Kobe Bryant on the helicopter. I can feel how I want to feel about Kobe Bryant, but it is not just him who was on the helicopter. You know what I mean? There were people, again, who were just making it's a 15-minute taxi. It's like, oh, let me run up to LA real quick. And then that's it. And so again, another reason why I want to do this video is because the news, the negligent report. People saying Rick Fox was in the helicopter. People saying all 4 of his daughters were in the helicopter. It's just, everyone was in such a rush to be first that no one gave a shit about being right. And it's like, you don't understand that these are people's families. I could not imagine being one of Rick Fox's children and just being on Instagram and finding out, like, for example, his daughter is the one who had to clarify that he wasn't on the helicopter. Because, like, could you imagine the stress of being just on Twitter and you're seeing, oh, Rick Fox dies in a helicopter crash with Kobe Bryant, and you don't know anything about it? I would lose. That's the type of stress that in this climate and with certain people's mental health, you could have a panic attack. You could have an anxiety attack. You could have a heart attack, depending on your age or health. That's not okay. And I know we live in a different time, and I know we live in a, buzz-filled world, so I get it. News travels fast in this time. But we have to be more responsible. Not we, you, and, well, I mean, I guess you and I, because I'm kind of talking about stuff in front of a platform, so I guess I have to be responsible too. But people who are paid a lot more than me need to be responsible in what they report, period. And lastly, the NBA, with these games, I just feel like that was inhumane. And I do feel like that was inhumane because a lot of people, again, I can feel how I want to feel about Kobe Bryant. I don't have to like him, but I can respect his passing because that was a human being and that was one of God's children. And a step past that, there are people who only play basketball today because of the man Kobe Bryant was, period. And so to see, they're still playing. I was actually in a restaurant and I was watching the Laker game as the news went live. And I knew that they didn't know or they weren't saying. And that's just not, cut it off. This game does not matter. It's not as important. But Kobe Bryant is the Lakers. Like, Magic Johnson was a mess. Shaquille O'Neal was a mess. Like, that man meant a lot to a lot of people besides just his family. And then you have to take into account he had a family. So I just really thought the NBA was a little disrespectful, and I thought the cameraman production were I just thought that was so irresponsible, showing all these players devastated because, again, Kobe Bryant is the reason a lot of people play basketball. And they're just devastated, and they're forced to go to work. And I would say the same thing if they worked at call centers. That is inhumane. And lastly, again, I know I said no, my heart breaks for Vanessa Bryant, but leave her alone. Like, seriously, her Instagram has been private for a really long time because she doesn't really do all the rah-rah. She doesn't care for that. Leave her alone. The last time it was really bad like this, I would have to say, was Nipsey, because again, Nipsey's death was very tragic and very sudden. And the way you guys did Lauren London was absolutely deplorable. Please do not do that again with Vanessa Bryant. And leave Lauren London alone while you're at it, but please do not do that with Vanessa Bryant. I could not imagine where she's at. I could not even imagine in my wildest dreams where she's at. Please do not get on Al Gore's internet and remind Vanessa Bryant that her husband is dead every day like y'all do Lauren. Please do not force her to say anything. And whatever she does say, should she ever say anything, which I fully think that she should not, let it be. Let Vanessa Bryant grieve. Let people grieve. Death and grief are not for the dead. They are for the living. Her family is going through something I could not imagine. And she's also going through something that a lot of y'all can't imagine. So in addition to practicing some empathy, practice some sympathy, because a lot of y'all know what it's like to lose someone tragically. It's earth-shattering, and we have to respect that. A woman lost her husband, babies lost their daddies. Those two little children they have will not grow up with a father, and that's tragic no matter how you slice it. I can't get on here and talk about, what I talk about as far as police and killings and jail, and exclude tragic death. It's trash that a family is being broken in such, not even broken, their family was ripped apart. And that's devastating. So that's really all for this week. Be respectful, be kind, be empathetic, chill out, log off, because I'm logging off. Yesterday on Twitter was so disgusting. The things that I saw, and just the brash reporting, disgusting. Log off. And be tactful and tell your family members that you love them. Tell everyone in your life that you love them, because you never know when you're going to see them for the last time. And again, if you like the video, like it. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs up anyway. And remember to stop being a hater. No one likes a hater. And share it or don't. And hug on someone. And I'll see you guys in a week.